Welcome back to another tale from the real-life Confessions Vault, where people share their most unexpected and awkward scenarios they've faced. Today, we're diving into a cringeworthy, yet surprisingly touching story, where a son's honest confession to his dad leads to an unforeseen and uncomfortable situation involving an escort, truths about his dad's life, and ultimately, a bizarre form of bonding. A few days ago, I decided to visit my dad at his house. It was his birthday. I showed up with wine. We got a little drunk, maybe more than a little. When my dad was done going on and on about how much he missed my mom since she divorced him, he changed the subject and focused on my love life. He asked if I had a girlfriend, and I said no. Then he asked if I've ever had a girlfriend, because he's never seen me with a girl. I said never. My dad poured the last drop of wine in my glass and asked if I was still a virgin. I was tempted to lie, but I paused too long, so I said yes. My dad said I had no reason to feel ashamed about my virginity, but encouraged me to have as much sex as possible before I end up married to a person whose vagina comes with an impenetrable encryption. I ignored the obvious reference to my mom's you-know-what and called it a night. I asked my dad if I was allowed to sleep in the spare bedroom because I didn't want to drive home drunk. My dad said I was more than welcome. I must have been sleeping for less than an hour before I woke up to the sound of my dad knocking on the door. I don't remember what I mumbled as I opened my eyes, but the moment my dad heard my voice, he entered my room with another person. It was a girl. My dad introduced her by name, but did the air quotes thing with his fingers to imply that it was a fake name. I could tell my dad was still drunk. Exhibit A, he continued making the air quote gesture, even when it was no longer necessary. Not gonna lie, I was still drunk too, but not drunk enough to disregard the weird fucking shit that was happening. Without giving me proper time to react, my dad quickly said the girl knew exactly what to do before closing the door on his way out. The girl did not know what to do. She did nothing other than awkwardly waiting for me to say something. I eventually asked her what was going on, and she said my dad hired her to sleep with me. I died of embarrassment, especially when the girl asked me to explain if I was on the zero experience or the some experience end of the virgin spectrum. Without thinking, I said I was gay. It was the first time I actually said it out loud. The girl sat down on the bed and asked if I was a top or a bottom. I shrugged and said I didn't know yet. My face must have been so red at that moment. The girl said if I was willing to go shower, then she would basically be willing to motorboat my butt. To be honest, I considered it. I'm human. I'm horny. However, the situation was way too weird for me to be completely comfortable doing something that sexual with someone I didn't know at all. I said thank you, but no thank you to the girl, and apologized for my dad putting both of us in an awkward position. She said she understood, and for some reason, thought it was necessary to mention that my dad was one of their regular customers. She made it clear for the record that she never had sex with my dad, but explained that some of her older co-workers at the escort service really enjoyed spending time with him. She said she can't wait to tell the other sex workers that she met me, because apparently my dad loves to talk about his son with the people he pays to fuck. I was not psychologically prepared for the unexpected discussion regarding my dad's sex life. The girl had a severe case of motor mouth. When she finally stopped talking, I learned that my dad sleeps with sex workers who kind of look like my mom, and that women closing their eyes with too much food in their mouth and saying, turns him on. The girl apologized for abusing my good listening skills and asked if there was nothing she could do for me. I said she could keep my sexuality between the two of us. She said her lips were sealed until the time comes to suck cock. My dad was passed out in the living room when we approached the front door. I went back to bed when the girl was gone and eventually fell asleep. The following morning, I confronted my dad. I said I didn't appreciate what he did and made sure he understood that he wasted his money because nothing happened. My dad was apologetic and promised never to cross that line again, no matter how much alcohol is involved. Despite his apology, the mood was still somewhat tense. I decided to break the tension by closing my eyes and saying, while eating breakfast. The look on my dad's face was priceless. I lost my appetite soon afterwards because I instantly regretted doing something that might arouse my father. And that wraps up the wild ride of today's story time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this story, and tune in for more jaw-dropping tales next time. Stay safe, and remember, life is full of unexpected moments. Embrace them with a sense of humor.